train is running.
And I'll say Evan. That's good. You're score, but I don't have to. It's a win.
All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Fins Talk today on the Fins Talk Sports Network. I'm Bobby Fins Talk. That's Fish Tank Hank. And we welcome you all. Thank you for tuning in. Smash that like and subscribe button. We appreciate you. Fish Tank, how you doing, sir?
Yes, sir. Fins up. You know, it's storming Norman out right now. I mean, it's like torrential downpour. So it felt a little more like Oregon to me, you know, today. So I went with my Blue Moon t-shirt.
Oh, there you go. There you go. I got my 305 gear because we are talking Dolphins. I'm excited about Miami. It's been a great sports season year so far for Miami sports in general. Of course, the Heat and the Panthers fell short in their championship rounds, but hey, you know what? You got to be encouraged that they got there. They weren't supposed to be there, and you hope that the Dolphins could do it. We're going to talk about that they could get that far and maybe seal the deal. But we're going to touch on that. But before that, Fish Tank, just want to talk to you, brother. How's your week so far, my man?
You know, I've been busy this week, actually. I took my car and had it measured. They had to measure my car. The graphics designer wanted measurements of the car so that they could get it more precise, something. I don't know. So I had to drive down by Tampa, and that was like an hour and a half away. So that was kind of a far drive just to have somebody measure my car. But
well, to let people know what exactly you're doing, because they don't, that way you are doing a car wrap of your car with the Miami Dolphins. You got a whole Dolphins setup. You got the logos, all the logos. We're going to come out really cool. So you're going to be driving to those games, those home games, those season tickets with that car, that Corvette. People are going to be going crazy when they see that.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun. And then when the back lifts up, because I have a convertible. So when the back lifts up on the back part there, it has all the logos that the Dolphins have ever had. That way, whoever likes whatever logo, it's at least represented on the car.
There you go. You know, it's gonna be like where people want to take pictures. They're gonna ask you to take pictures all the time in front of that car.
That's okay.
Yeah.
That's
so
okay.
it's gonna be a main attraction. I believe it.
I'm still gonna do what I do inside the car.
Yeah. Hey, as long as the Dolphins are winning on Sunday, Monday, Thursday, we're good. Do whatever you want.
Saturdays, because don't leave Saturdays out, because I like playoffs.
That's true. That's true. Got to talk Saturdays. We're going to talk about that. We got
Fins up,
Cap for life in the house. He was with us on Thursday night on the bandwagon. I co-hosted with Evan because Michael was out. He had something going on in school. So I was on the bandwagon, Fish Tank, and Cap joined us. We had a lot to talk about, Evan, the title of that show was, do the Dolphins have the best roster in the NFL on paper? and we kind of went back and forth a little bit. And then we got into a little discussion debate back and forth a little bit about Dalvin Cook. We're going to touch on him. But, Evan, it was Leonard Fournette, the running back who played for Tampa last year, who said, man, Miami's team is probably the best on paper in the NFL. So we talked about that. So it was awesome to have Cap on there to talk about the Dolphins and their roster. But let's go ahead and talk about a position, because I thought, my response to Evan, because Evan said, when you're looking at Miami's roster, basically I'm paraphrasing, and Evan would correct us once he pops in.
I'm sure.
He basically saying, yeah, they are the most talented. If you look at it, they're the most talented roster on paper.
One of them.
And that was my thing. I was like, look, they are very talented, but I can't get past the holes, the question marks. Wide receiver. I mean, goodness gracious, you put Tyreek, Jalen Waddle. You could put Tua there, as one of those standouts on the roster. You got Jalen Ramsey. You got a lot of big names at important positions, but we got to talk about the offensive line. We got Terron Armstead, but there's a lot of question marks on that offensive linebackers. We got a lot of question marks on those linebackers. Now, Don't get me wrong. Maybe this is the year that maybe Vic Fangio figures it out, and then our linebackers aren't the issue anymore. I don't know, but and then the depth issue with Raquan Davis after Raquan. What do we have on the defense? So that's what I was saying. It's like, look,
you never know, Bobby. Tyndall might even learn the playbook.
Listen, Van Ginkel is one of my favorite players. I'm happy he came back, but maybe he breaks out into a bigger year, becomes a household name other than Dolphin land. So I don't know, but there's too much questions for me to say they're the best roster on paper. Yes.
Yeah. I can't necessarily say that they're the best roster, but if they were the Buffalo Bills or the Jets, or if our team was named somebody else and we had to face them, I would see them just as tough as the Kansas City Chiefs.
Absolutely. Well, and again, you look at teams like, because he said, give me a roster. And I said, look, it's easy probably to say, Kansas City, maybe, but to me, it's like,
I think they're up there with the top 5, right?
Yeah, that's what I said. I said around top 5 rosters in regards to, but when you look at the Eagles is a hard team to pick out a weakness. They got a very strong team. They have a strong draft. I said that was more likely my pick. But let's talk about how this top roster on paper could probably go down a few pegs if the offensive line has this type of issue. Connor Williams, we know he's holding out. We know he wants more money. That was one of Cap's issues. Cap, I appreciate you, man, more than you know. That was one of Cap's issues with the whole Dalvin Cook thing. And I'm paraphrasing, Cap. You could put in the comments if I was wrong, you correct me. But basically saying, look, we're going to give money to this guy. When we start to worry about re-signing Christian Wilkins, where's that money going to come from? What are we going to do with Zach Steeler? What about Connor Williams? And Connor Williams is currently holding out in hopes for a new contract this year, even though he just signed last year. All right. He played like a top 5 center. He wants to be paid like a top 5 center. I'm not going to get into anybody's money business or say what's right and wrong. But Miami seems to be preparing for life without Connor Williams this year, potentially, with playing Liam Eichenberg at center, giving him some snaps. If, Fish Tank, Eichenberg does start game 1 regular season as your starting center for the Miami Dolphins, how concerned will you be? Ooh, long pause. Uh-oh.
I don't usually take that long. That's not a position I want to be in, and I don't think that's a position the Miami Dolphins want to be in either.
No.
So, to be totally honest with you, I wouldn't be looking forward to it. But from what some people have said in the media, Sports Illustrated folks and a few other folks have said that Eichenberg is doing a good job hiking the ball and all that, and seems to be way ahead of where Connor Williams was last year. So does that mean that he's looking that good, or does that mean that he's just hiking the ball that good?
Well, see, here's the thing with minicamp.
well, hold on. I
Okay.
don't know which one. Which one do you think it is? And you have to kind of mush them together and go, okay, let's take this for what it is. All right, he's looking good, hiking, snapping the ball. He's not throwing the ball all over the place. That's good because we saw what happened last year. It did mess up a thing or two last year, the hiking of the ball. So I'm not going to get into details, but I feel just as confident as I did last year as when we put Connor Williams in there when I thought he was going to go to left guard instead.
Well, okay, so you're confident because we were able to move Connor Williams to center, and he did very well last year. So you think, hey, if they did that with Connor Williams, they can do that with Eichenberg.
Absolutely.
Okay, that's fair. I get that point.
I mean, I give it that far, but now you got to go off of talent. And what has Eichenberg done so far?
That's true.
He's been one of those orange zone cones that you put there, and everybody just been going through him or around him. So, it hasn't worked so far for him. And
Good morning, Ender. How you doing, brother?
Hey, fins up, Ender. I really hope that it works out.
Absolutely. No, and that's my thing where you just said at the end there, which was a good follow-up. It really is talent because Connor Williams and Eichenberg are two different animals when it comes to talent. Connor Williams was the 11th best guard in the NFL with the Cowboys. He was a better guard than he was, but even though he had foul trouble, but he's a better center than he was a guard. Eichenberg has struggled everywhere he's gone. Now, it is promising that he's having a strong camp if he's playing that, and that's what you're hearing. But my thing, like you said too in the past, camp is different from the regular season. A guy could look like the best player in the world in minicamp, but when it counts on Sundays, he plays like he belongs on the practice squad. We've had that before. So if Eichenberg was starting center game 1 of the NFL season for the Miami Dolphins, I'm very nervous. Very nervous. I'm very nervous at that point because I think it could cost you a game or two. Could cost you a game.
That's one of those things, Bobby. That's one of those things where you embrace the suck and hope it's not. You embrace the suck and hope that it's not as bad as you think it might be. That's what I have to say about that.
Hey, we're going to talk about embracing the suck and maybe get surprised with a few players. Because there's some players, it's very easy to say what Dolphins players we're going to touch on now. I think we're going to hold it for just go into the next topic over that fish tank. We'll hold a surprise. And I want, as everybody starts to pile in, again, you're watching Fins Talk today on the Fins Talk Sports Network. If you're watching on Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, thank you for tuning in. If you get a chance, come over to YouTube, to our channel, smash that like and subscribe button. Catch me and Hank every Saturday, 12 noon, talking Miami Dolphins. But talking about surprises, it's very easy to pick out surprise or best players that have the best season, whether you say Tyreek or Jalen or whatever. But we're going to pick at the top, towards the end of the show. Our main event is picking top 3 players that no one is thinking about to have maybe a surprise year for Miami. And by surprise, I mean a stellar season where we go, damn, that was actually pretty damn good. So we're going to touch on that. But I want to talk about
Cap has a good point here.
Yeah,
I
go
mean,
for it.
He says 3 high snaps, but also finished 10th in his position after switching from guard. He knows that he's using that against Miami, but business is business,
Yeah, and Cap, you're spoiling it for me, but yes, I'm with you on that. On that last part there. We're going to touch on that.
Everybody's on the same train of thought there.
Yeah, it's spoiling, but it's good. We'll talk about that. Man, all right. But maybe I have to switch it up. No, it's all right. But no, you know what? You see, and that's the thing. He signed for 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's say he had a terrible year last year, Connor Williams. If he had a bad year last year, Miami goes and drafts a center or signs a center, and they cut him, no one blinks an eye. Business is business. But because he played like a top 5-10 center and he wants to be paid as such because he's not paid as such, we say, I don't like it. That's why when I say, it's like, hey, you know what? They would do the same thing to him. Let him go get his money. It's up to them to pay him or not. And then to figure out what they're going to do without him.
Well, that's the funny part. They have him under contract and they don't have to pay him.
Yeah. And that's why they could cut him too. He signed a contract and they could cut him. You see, it's like a double-edged sword. It's like, hey,
I don't think they'll cut him.
no,
I don't think they'll cut
I'm
him.
not saying they'll cut him. I'm not saying they're going to cut him. I said, though, if he underperformed his contract and they got another center, then yes, they could cut him. And then they don't honor the contract. Well, then we can't tell the guy too that he got to honor the contract if they wouldn't do it. He's in his right. Business is business.
All I'm saying is they can sit there and play the game and say,
absolutely,
we're not trading you. You're getting whatever we're paying you, whether you play or not.
Hey, yeah, and then we're spending money on a guy who's not playing. That's the biggest issue. Then money we need, So Miami has to figure it out. I don't think they could. I think they cannot afford, especially with our offensive line, not having him out there. They have to figure out getting him out.
No, they need him, and he can be paid a little bit, but I don't think he's going to get paid in that top 5 that he wants.
No, they have to. I would give him bonus money. I would give him a bigger bonus, and I would.
You achieve this year, and this bonus kicks in. You had one good year, but before that, your career was basically failing before you came here. So now we've given you an opportunity, and we put you in a good position where you're on an all-pro team to start with. So think about which direction you want to go, and it's probably with the Miami Dolphins.
So talking about a player who wants to get paid based, on the top 5-10 of his position, who has not struggled in years end, 4 1,000-yard seasons, one of the top running backs in the NFL, who's a free agent, who's connected to the Dolphins, Dalvin Cook. On the Rich Eisen show, Dalvin Cook stated recently that he's in no rush to sign with any football team at this time. He just wants to feel wanted, and valued. Another report states he is looking for a deal that is closer to $10 million a year rather than the $5 million that people are trying to connect him with the Dolphins. Your thoughts on this, Fish Tank? Do you think the Dolphins should make Cook feel wanted? Should they pay him what he wants? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, let's start with the make him feel wanted part and the greed part. Let's be realistic, all right? If he looks at the market, and his agent looks at the market, they're both going to come to the conclusion that the market for him is $6 to $7 million at most.
Yes.
At most. So who's disrespecting who? The teams aren't idiots. They're not going to pay him. That's why he's not on a team yet. And he needs to rethink which direction he's going, because he's either going to get his, somebody might pay him 8. And I said this before on another show, and I said on Thirsty's show. You want to throw in a plug for Thirsty there?
Thirsty. If you're thirsty for Dolphins content, go to dolphinsthirsty.com. He's not in the comments today because he's at Tyreek Hill's, Xavier Howard's baseball game, the softball game. So that's why he's not here. He'll watch the show later. But yeah, go check out dolphinsthirsty.com for Dolphins content. Go to his YouTube page. They're on almost every day in the morning. Talking Dolphins.
I went over there and I was with him and JP for a little bit.
There you go.
And we had discussed this whole thing, and I said $8 million. And if I'm looking at, if he gets what he wants, where he thinks he's not disrespected, I think the highest he can get is $8 million, and he'd be lucky to get that, though. I think it's more realistic on a $6 to $7 million contract, and if he was to go to Miami might probably kick in up to 6. Who knows?
So I'm with you on the value. I think $7 million is where me and Evan discussed. I think that's a fair point. I'm willing to give him that. We're not giving Mozart and Wilson are both, I believe, around 2.5 million each. Basically, that's how much we're paying the majority of our running backs. I also said on Thursday, while we discussed this same thing with Cap and Anthony Manzano with Evan, that I think that right now in this situation, as late as it is in the offseason, preseason, right around the corner in 2 months, that unless a team gets desperate, I can't see a team going overboard with a contract on him. I think it plays in Miami's favor. I also think that what plays in Miami's favor is their running back room. They do have Mostert. They do have Wilson. They do have A-Chain. They could sit there and go, hey, we're comfortable with what we have. We could roll into this season with our running backs as long as we have a balanced attack. We could be a successful offense.
Which teams do you think have a great running back on it right now? Who do you think is a great running back? See, because Dalvin Cook wants to be paid top money. What backs are getting top money right now? What do you consider top money?
Well, I don't have the contracts in front of me, but if you're talking about top backs in the NFL that would make a difference for their team, I mean, I want to say like Jonathan Taylor, right? But let's go with Derrick Henry with the Titans,
Okay.
And
without Derrick Henry, they probably don't have a chance at the playoffs.
No.
But if Derrick Henry goes down, would they pay $8-10 million for Cook? No, they wouldn't. I don't think they would. I think they'd still pay around that $6-7 million.
Well, but this is a point that the guys brought up. Let's say Cook is way out of the price range for Miami. Maybe Miami says, you know what, we're not willing to go that high. We're not going to 10, 9, 8, 10 million. We could go 7. Maybe that's the borderline, right? But
it would have to be a Super Bowl bound team, Bobby. I don't mean to cut you off. It would have to be a Super Bowl bound team where their running back gets hurt, where they'd be desperate for him to bring him in. That's the only scenario I see him getting it, sniffing anywhere near $10 million.
For me, it's more of a desperate team, a team with a higher cap.
Yeah.
You think
a team that's ready for the Super Bowl, that's on their way.
Yeah.
And they lose their back during preseason or whatever. That's the only way I see him sniffing anywhere near $10 million. And his agent should be telling him that.
Well, I'm sure. And they're letting the market play out. Maybe they are getting options. Maybe he's just taking a break. Maybe he wants to hold off until minicamp is over so he doesn't have to overextend himself. We don't know what's being played over there.
Look at what happened to Eckler.
Yeah. Austin Eckler. And look, now I think he got a little bit of a bump.
He ate crow is what he did. And that's what Dalvin Cook's going to have to do.
What's up, Hammer Time?
Hammer Time, fins up.
So, and then you got to think about the other options. Let's say Miami is saying, you know what? We need to get an additional back in this backfield. Maybe they're not just as comfortable as everybody thinks they are. And because they did try to trade for Dalvin. They did try to trade for Dalvin again. They traded for him before the deadline during the season. They tried to trade for him again before drafting A-Chain, reportedly. So obviously they're very interested in him. But if it's not him and they are looking for a back, who's another option? And we discussed some of that. Kareem Hunt possibly still out there if you need a short yardage back. Leonard Fournette is a free agent who was the one who said Miami has the best roster on paper. He played for Tampa Bay last season. And then of course we talked about Zeke Elliott, who's a free agent as well. There's other options there. But again, the what Miami has in their favor is the time this happened. It's late in the off season. And in their running back room, they could say, hey, you know what, Dalvin, we like you. We'd love for you to play for us, but we're not going to pay that much. We're cool with our running back room. If you're willing to take this and you want to play for a team that's possibly a Super Bowl contender with this talent, you want to be a part of history, come to us. Now, if you want to go somewhere else, you want to go to the Cowboys, as some people have said, go to the Cowboys. Go ahead. You know what? But we're willing to give you this for an opportunity at this. You might
go over there and lose to the Eagles and then wonder why you're sitting on the couch.
Yeah. So it is what it is. You know what? I'm not going to, I would be very happy if the Dolphins signed Dalvin Cook today, tomorrow, whenever, before the season, of course, but I would not be upset if he signed somewhere else. I'm comfortable with our
I would love to see him on the team, but it has to work for the Miami Dolphins. It's based, we have players on the team. He's a nice to have at this point.
Who is going to set the running back market? Will it help or hinder all the free agents? I don't know what would set the running back market at this point, Cap, because we're so late into the offseason. Yeah, I don't think anybody – that's why there's still some running backs who are names on the market still. I mean, that's why Austin Eckler did not get what he was looking for. He didn't get a trade. He didn't get a big contract. That's why Ezekiel Elliott
didn't get anything near what he thought he was going to get.
Kareem Hunt is still on the market. Kareem Hunt's a very decent back. He's just been behind Nick Chubb and company in Cleveland. Ezekiel Elliott has earned, he should be getting paid something, but he's still a free agent. There's a lot of players decent at the running back position who are still free agents. I don't know if there's going to be any set on the market. It might be Dalvin Cook at a $7 million. Evan Posner in the house, host of the bandwagon. My apologies for the no-show today at Montreal Formula One Grand Prix. Oh, there you go.
He's
Look
in a
at you.
suite, and he didn't invite any
big
of
guy.
us.
Big guy.
Oh,
before he
man.
just travels down to Florida. He's going down to Florida for his normal summer vacation trek. He's going to go see the Dolphins at minicamp and all that whatnot. I believe in July, late June, July. But anyway, we're going to find out. We'll see what happens with Dalvin Cook. Obviously, it's still a situation with Miami. That's why we're still talking about it, because Miami is still connected with him. Until said otherwise, until he signs with another team or just says, I'm not going to Miami, it will still be a topic, I'm sure, amongst Dolphin Twitterverse and etc. Miami hype, Fish Tank. My goodness. I know you are like me, a diehard Dolphins fan. Came from Oregon, though. You said in regards to basketball, you followed basketball way back in the day with Michael Jordan, Chicago Bulls. Yep. But now you're living in Florida. Obviously, you're being a Dolphins fan. You follow a lot of Miami. You just see it. For Eric Rivera, good to see you, man. Great to see you. Thank you for tuning in. We had Eichenberg. That's Kutchenberg at center. Why not Eichenberg? That's funny. Hey, you never know. Fish Tank might be right. Hey, even though he's having a strong hip, you never know. He might turn around and shock the world, just like what Connor did. Connor didn't shock the world, but Connor shocked a lot of people. But let me just say this. The Josh Allen is the next L. All right. We'll see. All right, man. Buffalo going 16-1. I don't think so. They may go 15-2, and that 2 would be against the Dolphins, brother. That's all I'm saying. But anyway, thank you for watching, man. We appreciate you. But Fish Tank, man, what a year so far for Miami sports. I mean, we're adult. FinSoft Sports Network covers everything, but you and I, we cover the Dolphins, dude. We've been doing
we're Dolphins. I'm 100% Dolphins.
But you know me. I grew up in Miami. I'm a diehard Miami sports fan. I bleed all the Miami colors.
Hey, I root for the Hurricanes. Don't get me wrong.
There you go, brother. So look,
don't get me wrong. I root for the Hurricanes all the time.
Let's just touch on something, and I want to pull this up because I do not want to get this wrong, because I know.
Fins up from the Bahamas.
Whoa, Luther, thank you for tuning in, man.
Right on, Luther.
Wow, that's cool, dude. How is it in the Bahamas? How's the weather down there, brother?
Yeah, how's the weather today? How's the beach looking?
Appreciate you. Smash that like and subscribe button. Even you, Josh Allen, as the next Elway. We talk everything on here, not just Dolphins, brother, but we appreciate you for watching. Eric, you as well. And my last name's Melendez, Eric, but it was supposed to be Rivera, so we might be cousins. That's a Puerto Rican history there for you. But anyway, Roberto Rivera was supposed to be the name, but no, it's Roberto Melendez, Robert Melendez. But thanks, fellas. Thanks, love your show. Go Fins. But we need Cook. Thank you. We appreciate you. And hey, you know what? I get it. He's a very good back. You want to get him on your roster. Bahamas is hot, hot, hot. There you go. But I want to
time to have lots of drinks and party then.
New York City. There you go. From New York, huh?
New York. Right on.
Boricua from New York. Is that what you are?
He's from the city.
There you go. Love it.
NYC.
Yeah. That's where my father's from. So, Fish Tank. Talk about Miami sports. Okay. We know the Florida Panthers, the Miami Heat, both surprised everybody.
Yep.
Weren't supposed to be there. They were the 8th seed. The Heat were a playing team. They made it all the way to the NBA Finals, the Stanley Cup Final, and they both lost the same way, 4-1. Okay, Game 5. But still, for me, yes, I was disappointed in the result, but I was so excited about just being there, and I'm excited about the future of those teams. And then you go, it's not just in those two squads. You got the Marlins. The Marlins are the third in the NL. They're 39-31. That's baseball, Fish Tank. I know you're familiar. Sorry. But I'm just throwing it out there just in case. But they're playing really well for a young team. No one expected to be this good. They are playing damn well right now.
Yeah.
Then, look, I'm going to admit, look, I'm not a big football in regards of soccer fan, okay? I'm not a big I only recently have a few years back recently when France won the World Cup. I watched it. I was so enthralled by Mabumbe, whatever his name, I'm butchering his name, I'm sure. That I was like, oh, dude, and I got into it. I got the game. I was all that. But, I'm not really into soccer, but I follow Inter Miami because it's Miami. I have the jersey here, because I was excited when Miami got him. Lionel Messi's going to Miami, Inter Miami. I mean, that is picking up steam. You got Tyreek Hill on the Dolphins, Jimmy Butler on the Heat, Kachek on the Panthers, Messi coming to Inter Miami. Miami is on high right now, Fish Tank.
Yes, sir.
Let me ask you this, man, and I already know the answer because I know you. Let's say the Miami Dolphins, yes, they make the playoffs and not fall into the playoffs like last year. Even though they did, they fell in, right? Because the team lost.
No, they won their way in.
They go to the playoffs this year.
Yeah.
No questions.
Yeah.
Have an incredible playoff run. Okay? Make the Super Bowl, but fall short. Like the Heat, like the Panthers in their respective leagues. Would you be grateful that they made it? Of course, it depends on the game, right? But would you be grateful that they made it, or would you be upset that they lost the Super Bowl?
We're talking they go to the big game now. I'd be real disappointed if they get to the Super Bowl and they lose that with all that talent. That would hurt. That would take a while to get over. So
yeah, I think win, lose, or draw. Yeah, I get you.
Yeah, you don't go to the Super Bowl and sniff it and then don't touch it for how many years it's been now? Since '84. Yeah, it's been a while.
So, it's different with the Heat. If the Dolphins, first off, have a strong season, let's say they're the 2, 3rd, 1st seed, whatever. Josh Allen is the next Elway. That's why I'm calling you, because that's what you have there. May not agree with us, but let's say they are the 1st, 2nd, 3rd seed. Okay, they win the East. They have a strong postseason, and they go to the Super Bowl and lose. Then yes, I'd be disappointed. If they made the wild card, let's say they go 10-7, they make the wild card, they have an amazing run, and they get to the Super Bowl. I'd be so damn grateful that they're even there, that I get to watch a Dolphins Super Bowl game. If they lost, of course I'd be more disappointed because it's the Dolphins. Look, yeah. I love the Miami Heat. I love the Panthers, the Marlins, etc. Because
you were crushed.
But Dolphins, let me tell you something. If the Heat would have won the finals, of course I would have been off the chain excited. The Panthers as well, because it would have been their first. It would have been the 4th for the Heat.
Yeah.
But if the Dolphins win the Super Bowl, I wouldn't just be excited. I'd probably be crying with tears of joy.
Yeah.
That's how much I love the Miami Dolphins. So
you'd even give away money, wouldn't you, Bobby?
If I had it, but I don't. I don't. I'd give a lucky quarter. Eric says, I've been a fan since the first Greasy. Oh, Bob Greasy and bro-in-law too. Well, there you go. Hey, ain't that cool that your brother-in-law's a Dolphins fan as well? That's exciting. Miami should sign Jadeveon Clowney or sign Dalton Rasner. Offensive line help, I'm really down with. Clowney, I'm not just sure, man. Clowney's such, I don't know, dude. He's such a question mark. I'm not a big thing into Clowney. I was when he was first a free agent and he was up for Miami at one point, but he's unreliable, dude. I've seen him play with Tennessee. I'm not interested in him. I'll cry if they make the big game. I'm with you. So Fish Tank, we're at the 34-minute mark, but you and I, we talk it out, brother. We have fun. It's Fins Talk Today. Yeah, we get through it. Again, you guys are watching Fins Talk Today on the Fins Talk Sports Network. Smash that like and subscribe button. We appreciate you. And share the show too. That'd be awesome. Eric says, same with me. I love Mets and Nets, both, but nothing like the Fins. There you go, man. There you go. I was watching the Yankees and the Mets the other day. My father-in-law was watching it, Eric.
Yeah, the Yankees were winning, I think.
They were winning, but the Mets came back. I came back, and all of a sudden the Mets were celebrating. I was like, what just happened? I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
It was a good win. But Eric, I don't know how your family is, but okay, so I'm half.
Wait a minute, Bobby, did you notice that I knew something about baseball?
I did, actually.
Do you know why?
Why?
My team is the Yankees.
Really? There you go.
Yes.
Okay. There you go.
Well, I'm from New York.
Okay. Oh, I didn't know that, Fish Tank.
Yes, I'm from New York. I'm from Long Island.
There you
A
go.
place called Bellport.
There you go.
So
My dad's from the Bronx.
yeah,
He's from the
I
Bronx.
lived a little further out from the city, but where I lived was like the city.
I don't know, one of those bees, I think. I might be butchering. My mother-in-law is from there too. But in my father-in-law, Eric, supports any team that has a Puerto Rican player on it. My in-laws are from the island. My mother-in-law was born in New York as well, New York City. But my father-in-law is from the island. So any team that has a Puerto Rican player, he supports. I mean, whether it's Houston at one point, the Astros, the Mets, Lindor, he follows everybody, so I always try to play with him, like I'll tell him, if he knows one player is on the opposing team for the Dolphins is Puerto Rican, he's going to root for that team. And I would say, oh, there you go. And we might be cousins, Eric. No, but he's from South Bronx. But but when I'll trick him, I'll go, that guy right there, like say Tyreek or something, Tyreek's Puerto Rican. What? Oh, and my wife comes, no, he's not. Stop it. I try to get him to root for the Dolphins in that game. So it always works. But Fish Tank, talk about Tyreek.
Yes, sir.
We know if somebody says, man, what Dolphins do you think are going to have great years this year? It's pretty easy what people might guess up, right? They may say Tua, they may say Tyreek, Bradley Chubb, Jalen Ramsey, Xavier Howard. But the more difficult question is, what 3 players on Miami that are being overlooked or not looked in a bright light, maybe, that are probably going to have surprise stellar seasons? Who are 3 players that you go, you know what? And last year you had Noah Benogany, one of them. We did kind of do this last year. You brought up Noah. Didn't work out, but he did have an interception. So there you go. But what are 3 players you would say, hey, you know what? No one's talking about this guy, but this guy's going to have a big year?
Well, it might even be people that are being talked about, but are being talked about negatively. Oh, didn't see that coming, did you?
Thank you, Eric. Appreciate you, man.
The first one that I have that's going to be a big surprise to everybody is going to be Tanner Conner.
Interesting. I like that.
The tight end. Tanner Conner, he is beefed up a bit, just like the rest of the Dolphins. So whoever's training him is doing one hell of a job, I gotta say, because it seems like everybody on the Dolphins has slimmed down and beefed up, or you know what I mean, trimmed down the fat and put on muscle. So their trainers are doing one heck of a job. I like him. I think he's going to have a big year. I think it's going to be a breakout year. It's his second year. I really think big things are coming for him. I almost took the low fruit hanging on the tree with Chosen, but that would be too easy because he's probably going to be open a lot with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle getting most of the attention. So whoever the number 3 is, they're going to get a lot of attention. So I didn't take that one. Okay.
You're sweeping under me. All right, cool. I get it.
That's too easy.
Okay.
However, my man, Austin Jackson, that's right. Austin Jackson is going to stand up and show out this year. It's a contract year for this young man, and this is make or break season for him. One way or another, they didn't do his extension like they did with Tua, so he needs to step it up and step it out. He's already trimmed out, he's buff. People were getting around the outside on him a lot. Maybe buffing up and slimming down a bit. They won't be able to do that so much now. Hopefully, he's learning something from T. Steady and a few other people on the team too, where he'll become a better player. He now has depth behind him where somebody else can come in and take his job too. So there's a lot riding on this for that young man. I think he's going to perform. I don't think he's going to fall apart. I think he's actually going to perform this time. So that's 2. Last but not least, and this is kind of me cheating a little bit, but we're going to have injuries in the backfield, in the secondary, and I think Kader Kohu will be the man that steps up and surprises a lot of people, and he'll have the most interceptions this year.
Ooh, okay. Okay, there you go. Top 3. All right, so I'm not going to put Trozen now. So I'm not going to do it. Cat brought it up, and now you're saying it's low-hanging fruit, so I'm not going to say it. But I am going to agree with you. I am going to agree with you on Austin Jackson. He's one of my surprises this year.
Really?
What he's done this offseason, the transformation, the work he's put in.
Bobby, that is a surprise.
There you go. I'm going to pick Austin Jackson. I got Austin Jackson as one of my surprises this year for Miami Dolphin fans. I think he's going to earn that spot, and I think he's going to do very well this year. I know, he didn't get a chance to do that last year. I know the game that he did play looked like he struggled, but he didn't have a chance last year. I think he put a lot of work in, lost the weight, ready. He's committed. He's won. I talked about him earlier. I'm going to say Andrew Van Ginkel. He has shined in some spots, but he's never been a name. He's never done anything that nobody really cared when we weren't going to get him back. When we thought we were going to lose him. Yeah, we're going to care by the end of next season. I think Vic Fangio is going to make the biggest difference. I think Andrew Van Ginkel could end up being the best linebacker on this Dolphins team by year's end. Wow. He's going to make a lot of noise for Miami Dolphins. I like that. Yeah, I think him. He's right there. Baker might surprise me because Baker's still here, but I'm going to go with Van Ginkel. I think there's a reason why he came back. There's a reason why the Dolphins decided to bring him back. Yeah. I think Fangio likes him. I think he's going to do very well this year. He's my number 2 surprise. And I'm with you. I was going the secondary route. And I know what Xavier Howard said about Noah Benogany, and I want to believe he's going to have a way better year. But he's getting lost. He's going to be lost in the cause, man. There's just so much talent on that secondary.
There's too much.
I think Kohu's a very strong answer. I think he did surprise last year. He could have a stronger season this year. If he would surprise everyone if he had a stellar year and he had more interceptions than both Jalen Ramsey and Xavier Howard. Could happen though.
I just think injuries are going to put him in play.
Well, I'll give you a name that that we heard a lot in the offseason last year in minicamp that got injured. Trill Williams. He's Trill Williams in the secondary. I think is going to be a surprise this year. I think in the regular season he's going to make some noise, and we're going to end up really pounding the table for Miami to bring him back with these guys.
You have Tyndall that's missing too for the linebackers.
There's a lot of potential on any of these players to have strong years and surprise people. But I think Van Ginkel, Trill Williams, Austin Jackson, those are my guys for my top.
I like them. Yeah. I like them. That's impressive, Bobby. Even though I took Chosen away from you.
You did. So, and I appreciate it because it challenged me.
You see how I did that, though? I gave you plenty of time to find somebody else.
You did. And, I have it all up here. You know what I mean? And I was like, I know I could come up with someone else. I got it. I know this roster good enough. Hey, Tyndall might be a good option. Let me see. I'm praying for health. Everybody is, man. Yeah, absolutely, for this Dolphins team. Scotty, thank you for tuning in. Scotty says, unless many things fall Iggy's way, he doesn't even make the 53. Nick Needham would have to start season on PUP, and Trill needs to move to safety. Otherwise, bye-bye Iggy. Fair enough.
Fins up, Scotty.
Yeah. Hope the undrafted linebacker steps up. The other undrafted linebackers step up. Aladino in the house. Thank you for tuning in. We appreciate you. Eric says, happy Father's Day, Fish Tank. God bless. We appreciate you.
Well,
if you're a dad, happy Father's Day to you, and happy Father's Day to every dad watching.
Fins up, and happy Father's Day to everyone.
Thank you so much. And that's tomorrow. I forget,
I look at it this way, Bobby, you're either a father or you had one at one point in time, right?
That's true. Yeah.
So, happy Father's Day for everyone out there that gets to celebrate it with their fathers, especially.
Absolutely. The sad part is we're not going to get to keep all these guys. So a lot of that's true.
Yeah.
Look, and thank you, Josh Allen's next Elway. Cam Smith was a good pick, in my honest opinion. Yes, he was. And again, fair enough. I'm honest. When we made the pick, I was shocked. I wasn't happy just because it wasn't the guy I wanted. But, as I had time to digest 48 hours later, as Fish Tank was, as we all did, you saw, hey, this dude, he has the potential to be very good in this defense. Very good corner. He could end up being one of the better corners. And to learn from a Jalen Ramsey and a Xavier Howard, and maybe he takes over for a Xavier Howard down the line.
Don't forget who the coaches are.
That too. Sam Madison, right? Madison's still with us. Pat Surtain's gone. Madison's still with us. Tyndall was a freak at Georgia. He was. And that's why Dolphin fans, even though he was a third-round pick, are very excited about him. And we're not very happy that he did not get a lot of snaps last year.
He can't learn the playbook.
Well, and hopefully he's had a whole.
And I understand that, Bob, because I have a hard time. I'm not one of those people that could just read something and I have it memorized. I'm not one of those people. And I'm guessing he's having the same type of struggles where he's trying to learn this playbook, but it's easier for him to learn hands-on probably. Absolutely. But he's been injured and a few other things too.
What's up, Marino's GOAT? Thank you for tuning in, my man.
Fins up, GOAT.
Yeah, but no, and that's why, hey, he could be the surprise this year in the linebackers. He could be the one that surprises everybody. And by surprise, I mean maybe being the strong linebacker because of Vic Fangio. And that would be a great thing to see. If I see Jerome Baker, Van Ginkel, Tyndall, if they upgrade to one of the better linebackers in the NFL because of what an awesome sight it's going to be. Because linebacker is one of our question marks with the offensive line.
Yeah.
And we need linebackers to be strong this year. That's going to make a lot of difference for Miami. And
the funny part is we go into the season with questions at line and linebacker again, Bobby. Bobby, it's killing me.
I know.
It's killing me.
It's the same thing with offensive line. Every year, it's always something.
That's what I said, linebacker and offensive line.
Yeah.
Both of them.
Scotty says Tyndall will need at least one more season. Even in Georgia, he didn't know the playbook. Dean used to tell him what to do pre-snap when they were on the field. Well, if that's true, that bothers me. If that's true, that bothers me, Scotty. I appreciate you putting that in there, my man.
Yeah.
But Fish Tank, we're coming up on the hour.
Yes, sir.
Any other Dolphin topics you want to talk about or any final thoughts for today?
No, I should have my car back before 4th of July. I drop it off Monday.
There you go.
So this Monday, that's my big news is that I finally get to have a Miami Dolphins Corvette.
That's gonna be exciting. I told you, you're gonna be people are gonna be coming up saying, "Can I take a picture in front of it?" But eventually, you're gonna get sick of it. But hey, let's see what Cameron Good does. Linebacker drafted last year out of Cal, right? Wasn't he out of Cal? Good sized kid. Hey, good point. Good name to bring up. But I can't wait to see that Corvette once it's done.
I can't wait to see it. Oh my
goodness!
This is my life stream here.
You hardly like to stay home, but you're never gonna want to be home after that car gets done. You're gonna be wanting to drive.
I know.
You always tell me I gotta go out. I'm going out. Now it's gonna be like I'm out. It's not gonna be I'm going out. He's already out. Don't you sleep? Nope.
I'm out. No, staying at a hotel.
That's right. He's gonna be always driving. Oh man, but hey guys, man, a lot of good people tuning in today. We appreciate you all. Smash that like and subscribe button. Got a lot of great stuff on the Finstock Sports Network. Obviously, talking Dolphins. Talk NFL, NBA, Miami Heat, Marlins, Major League Baseball, Panthers, NHL, professional wrestling, no holds barred. A lot of cool stuff. So smash that like and subscribe button. That's this way. One and only Fish Tank Hank. I'm Bobby Finstock. We will see you next Saturday, 12 noon. As always, like, subscribe, and fins up. See you guys later.